it's me, Julian Greystoke. I'm back with another book review. I'm wearing my Zelda and Midna shirt. Today we're going to talk about a book called The Hazel Wood, which I keep feeling like I've already reviewed, but I think that's because I talked about it in a wrap-up. This is going to be a problem. I'm going to keep thinking that I already reviewed something. We're gonna go ahead. I think we're pretty safe. I think I haven't done one for this already. Let's hope. Fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and read the synopsis on Goodreads, shall we? 17-year-old Alice and her mother have spent most of Alice's life on the road, always a step ahead of the uncanny bad luck biting at their heels. But when Alice's grandmother, the reclusive author of a cult classic book of pitch-dark fairy tales, dies alone in her estate, the Hazelwood, Alice learns how bad her luck can really get. Her mother is stolen away by a figure who claims to come from the hinterland, the cruel and supernatural world where her grandmother's stories are set. Alice's only lead is the message her mother left behind: stay away from the Hazelwood. Alice has long since steered clear of her grandmother's cultish fans, but now she has no choice but to ally with classmate Ellery Finch, a hinterland superfan who may have his own reasons for wanting to help her. To retrieve her mother, Alice must venture into the Hazelwood, then into a world where her grandmother's tales begin, and she might find out how her own story went so wrong. So, the Hazelwood. This is one that I had been waffling about reading, but then it appeared on the Available Now on my library's Overdrive, and I was like, well, alright, I guess I'll give it a go. Now let's get on to the review, but first, this. Hey guys, this is the world's fastest reminder that you can support me on Patreon and see all kinds of exclusive videos like these ones. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. This book was odd. It was an odd book. The way it was constructed was very strange and different. I wasn't sure what to expect going into this. I was expecting sort of more of a contemporary from that synopsis, but there's a whole other chunk of the book that the synopsis leaves out. But I expected her to spend more time going to the house, the Hazelwood house, and finding things out slowly there. But it's a lot more of a road trip, kind of. The plot is weird. So if you're looking for something that has a normal plot structure, this book is not for you. The characters, as you know, the most important part of any story for me, are okay. It really feels like only the main character's personality matters, and hers is meh. She's supposed to have a really strong personality for plot reasons. She's supposed to be real strong and opinionated and everything like that. But instead, she wound up feeling like sort of every crabby girl archetype that we've been seeing in a lot of YA now. And I never was a fan. To be over it, but I'm over it. She's pissy, she's standoffish, she is rude, and I don't know. When did that archetype start happening and why is it here? The other characters are the love interest and the mother, the other characters who really get any kind of personality, and both of them felt very tangential, very sort of, don't look at them, they're not really as important that they have strong personalities, and that was too bad. There are some other characters in the second half of the book who come along, but I remember so little about them that clearly they did not have strong personalities either. So this plot is scattered. Scattered is the only word for it. There is just stuff everywhere. This is the cluttered house of plots. And it feels like it's two books. The first half of the book is sort of a contemporary fantasy kind of story, and the second half goes full portal fantasy, low fantasy. And if you don't like one or the other of those, this book probably isn't gonna be for you, because you will spend half the book frustrated. If you like both of those things by any chance, then you'll probably get more into this. It was really weird because normally I would have been more into the second half of the book, but because we started out with the first half and I kind of got my brain in the place of, okay, we're doing a contemporary fantasy kind of thing, then switching to the other one, I didn't like the second half. And it was weird because I should have liked the second half, judging from what I normally like in a fantasy story. I pretty much was like, why are we here? What's going on? I was like an old lady. I was like, why are we here? What's going on? What do these people want? What is this doing for the story? Is there a word that means both confused and annoyed? Because that's what I was. The romance in this is especially bland and deeply unsatisfying. So if you were coming into this book really hoping for a romance subplot that has any meaning to it, look elsewhere. Like, I'm not really into romances in books, and even I was like, what? Why is this romance even in here? Because it's so meaningless. The climax of this book was very abrupt, but then the ending after the climax felt like it went on too long. And I found the ending kind of frustrating. Now, I know there will be more in this series, and possibly I think the second book might already be out, but I didn't know that, I don't think, going in necessarily, and I was really hoping, you know me, I think that books in a series should be able to stand on their own, and this one kinda did, but also kinda didn't, and it was the drawn out nature of after the climax. Like, the climax just like came at you at 1,000 miles an hour, and then it was just like after that it's sort of back to the meandering, really, to try to lead you up to the next book, and I wasn't feeling it. This book, according to me, I don't really remember most of these, but had loads of metaphors and similes, and most of the time they didn't land. Sometimes they would, but I guess they probably did not. I'm thinking there's probably a lot of metaphors and similes of the type that I hate, where if you actually try to stop and think about them, they don't make any sense. I was at a writing convention the other day, and they were talking about using all four senses in your writing, and they read a simile, I think. I get metaphors and similes confused. I'm a professional. Anyway, they read one that was like, it tasted the way that opals looked, or something like that. And then if you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it sounds really pretty and it sounds really evocative, like it should mean something, and you can kind of get it on a gut level, but if you think about it, it makes no fucking sense. And those are the kind that I don't really like. Some people love those, but I don't. I want my comparisons to make fucking sense if you think about them. Along with the ending seeming to go on too long, I also felt like the beginning / setup takes way too long. So I think what we can get from this book is that it is poorly paced, and it's in two very disparate chunks, and long story short, this book is not for everyone. Some people are gonna love this, but some people, One thing I was really excited about is the stories of the hinterlands from the grandmother character, who we never actually really get to see. Like, I think we see her very briefly. And when the main character teams up with that superfan, you think, oh, we're gonna get some of those stories. I love stories with stories inside them. I love sort of alternate fairy tales that are inside a larger narrative, but we never really got a complete one. Every time the character would start telling one of these stories, the main character would be like, I don't like these stories, shut up. And we never find out what? And that was very frustrating to me. Like, finish a damn story, for crying out loud. I think that was like, I'm sure that that was kind of the point, that the author was trying to say something with that, but it was just mostly very frustrating, and I keep coming back to annoying. That's what it was. Now, there may be more endings in the second book or the third book. I don't know how long this series is going to be, but we needed some in the first book. And I also wrote, I am very disappointed by what was done with the grandmother. And I don't really remember what that was, but I do remember the feeling of disappointment, especially like the grandmother in the blurb seems like she's going to be a lot more of an interesting like character to even like maybe hear about in the past or something like that, but she's not, and what they did do with her clearly disappointed past me. Honestly, going back, because I am often so behind on my book reviews, going back sometimes I don't quite remember exactly what like prompted some of my notes, and it's the books that really didn't leave a big impression on me that do that, and clearly The Hazelwood did not leave a very big impression on me, except a sort of overall feeling of low-level frustration throughout. But hey, did you read The Hazelwood? What did you think about it? Did you like it? I would love to hear why you liked it in the comments below. Like, what drew you to it? Like, maybe the very things that put me off of the book are the things that drew you in. So comment below and let me know what your thoughts were. And if you think I should read the second one, give it a chance. Maybe it fixes some of the problems that I have with the first one. Who knows? If you liked what you saw here, my channel is chock full of book reviews, easily arranged in a playlist for your binging, so go check them out if you're interested. You're bound to find some more books that you've heard of. I've read so many. And if you want to help this channel out, help me save up for better equipment and show your support, then you can become my patron on Patreon, where not only are you helping me get better equipment, but you also get lots of exclusive content not seen here on the regular channel. There's some quirky stuff over there, so check it out if you're interested. All the links to my social media are in the doobly-doo for ease of your clicking, and I'll see you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye! Alright everyone, it's that time again. It's time to thank my illustrious patrons of the month: Lennox, Amanda, Thelia, Jenny, Joseph, Kim, Lisa, Sabby Panda, Sam, and Sarah. Thank you all so much for your support. It means the world to me.